Welcome back to the Metals Investment Forum. It's my great pleasure to have Avino Silver with me today, David Wolfin. Welcome, David.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Oh, great. Avino happened to be the number one silver stock in the New York Exchange last year and one of the darlings. And it seems just get started because you have your very strong balance sheets and you have a strong growth looking forward.
Yeah.
You can explain to us.
100 million US in cash at the end of the year, no debt, and our plan is to go from a junior producer to an intermediate producer within 5 years, and we have the assets. So we've got the producing Avino mine, La Preciosa, and oxide tailings. These are the three assets.
All right, good. Well, talking about La Preciosa, this is one of the classic takeover examples. So you bought that since penny on the dollar in the bottom of the bear market. Maybe you can tell us, how did you get that?
In 2022, we bought it for $30 million. In 2013, Coeur bought it for $350 million. But silver was at $30. Then it went down to 15 when we bought it, and now we're at 93.
93.
And it's well defined. 1,500 drill holes, 500,000 meters of drilling. About 90 million was spent on it by Pan American Silver, Coeur Mining, and Orco.
Wow. That's a great project. What kind of resource they have?
So combined with all three assets, we have 277 million ounces of silver equivalent in the measured and indicated category, and then another 94 million in the inferred, and 60% of that is pure silver.
Well, excellent. That's very impressive for the producer. It seems you have 100-year mine life. I mean, that's never seen that anyone like you.
Well, we've retained the services of an engineering firm to reimagine our operation to consider even larger than what we've put together internally. Our 5-year plan was put together prior to the rally, so we're thinking maybe we should reimagine it even bigger.
Oh, excellent. And then in your presentation, you mentioned that the grade La Preciosa seems to be potentially much higher than the
so
resource.
when Coeur Mining had it, they did a feasibility study for an open pit mine on veins. So what's between the veins? Waste rock. So the grade that they reported that we use in our resource estimate is 200 grams. So we went, because we're not doing an open pit, we wanted to go and evaluate the core, but they used it all in the reports. So we said, let's go and re-drill some holes. So we announced almost 8 meters of 1.6 kilograms of silver and 2 grams of gold. And last year when we broke ground, it's wider than we thought. So now we decided to change the style of mining from shrinkage stope mining to long hole.
Long hole, yeah.
So in the long run, it'll be cheaper mining. And we hope to get to commercial production in the second half of this year.
Second half.
500 tons per day.
500 tons. Okay, good.
Yeah.
That will run through your existing facility?
Yeah, so we've got the benefit of having 4 independent circuits. Because the mill's been around so long, it's been laddered up. So there's the smaller circuits, 1 and 2, can do a combined 500 tons per day. And we don't have to mix the ore. So in the end, we produce a concentrate. One's a copper concentrate, and it goes to our number one trading partner, Samsung. And then this will be a bulk concentrate. And so it's good that everyone is looking at creating concentrates now because it's safer. You don't want bars on site or you're a target. We've been left alone. We're in a safe jurisdiction. Durango is uncontested, and so we're in a farming community.
Oh, excellent. So you seem to be in a very good area, very
Yes.
safe area
Yes.
in Mexico.
Yeah.
I have the honor to be on your site.
Yeah.
And then there's this farmland around there.
Yep.
And then you've been mining there for 50 years or so?
On and off. My father built the mine in 1974. It ran for 27 years, and then it closed during the first tech bubble in 2000 because gold went below 300 and silver below $4. And Pignoli stopped taking our concentrate. So then I was appointed president and negotiated to buy the other half of the mine, and I put it all back together at the end of that decade, and we've been operating ever since.
So yeah, so you've been operating for a very long time, and have we're working very well with the local. I seem
Yeah, we've been very patient and disciplined in our approach, not trying to grow too fast, because then a lot of companies make the mistake because they got to blow up their management team to handle that amount of stress. And we've gone slow and steady, and we've kept our costs down. Our all-in sustaining cost is $24.
Yeah,
So
very impressive.
93, there's 250% margin.
So
We're
yeah,
printing cash.
exactly. So I was in my presentation. I said, well, I am happy with just around silver, just around here, because
Yeah.
company like Avino is printing cash already.
Yeah.
You don't need to have a very boom and bust, and
Yeah.
for silver, we rather have silver stay around here,
Yes.
and then for the longer period.
Yeah, definitely.
And then your plan is La Preciosa, and then
The oxide tailings
oxide
project. So
tailings.
that's reprocessing old tailings through dynamic leaching. So we did a pre-feasibility study. We're doing community engagement. We'll do a final feasibility study and then build that one out.
Oh, great. So
And that one, sorry, that one, the all-in sustaining cost is projected at $10 because it's just reprocessing.
reprocessing. Yeah, absolutely. So it's a really cash generating.
Yeah, so
machine.
our all-in sustaining costs in time could actually go down.
Go down, and as you ramp up the production. So
Yeah.
what's your projection in three to 5 years? But that
For
production,
production, we want to
period.
get between 8 and 10 million ounces. But like I said, we hired an engineering firm to possibly think even bigger than that. But our current plan is 8 to 10 million.
8 to 10. So where do I get the imagination? You think of the Preciosa, you get the higher grade
Yeah.
and more output. Maybe you expand your mill.
Yeah.
Where that
Yeah.
come from?
Yep. Expand the mill and expand the development and the mining equipment at both mines
Oh,
to
okay.
feed a bigger plant.
Okay.
With Avino, we could feed a larger plant on its own, but it's lower grade.
Mhm.
So we're so excited to get to La Preciosa and get that higher grade material to our plant. We'll look at a bigger operation there. But and if you look at our total resources, like 75 million tons, that's equivalent to 100 years of mine life
Right.
at our current capacity.
current
So we
yeah.
got to build a bigger operation and shrink that timeline.
Right. You don't need 100
No,
100-year
no.
mine life. So do you plan to put a second plant maybe closer to La Preciosa?
Well, that's part of the study.
That's
They're
part of-
doing
okay.
4 scenarios, and that's one of the components. Because at some point it doesn't make sense to haul that amount of material 20 kilometers away.
Mhm.
So that's part of the study.
Okay, and that will be bring more flexibility to it.
And like we didn't even consider Coors feasibility study. They did a open pit study,
Mhm.
and if you took spot NPV, it's 4 or 5 billion.
I know, right? That's
We're not looking to do that,
no.
but who knows? I mean, the way things are going, we could have the money to do that. It would be a significant
super pit,
expense.
super pit.
But we don't. We're underground miners, and it's a farming community. It wouldn't be a simple thing to convince people you're going to take crops away to build an open pit.
Right.
Although the U.S. government or the Mexican government is changing, they've issued an open pit permit with Silver Tiger, so that's a positive development, and it could be something that attracts a major at some point. They may see that and they want to build it out.
Right. Well, you need the permitted.
Yeah.
And then the major will just it's a dream of like a company called the Core, who I just sold you at the bottom of the market. As I presented, I'm a shareholder of Core. Core did very well, not as good as Vino, but it did very well for me. And then they're going to have more than $2 billion in free cash flow this year. I believe they will acquire a silver company.
Probably.
Yeah.
They were focused on Rochester and they went 500 million in debt, so they had to sell non-core assets. And because the government in Mexico wasn't pro open pit, they just thought, oh, let's just sell it. But you don't know, they could come back. They could say, hey,
so that's the next question. What the price do you think you're willing to sell? For example, I'm Mitch, I want to give you a big check. So how big it is?
Our PNAV's 1.2. Mag, Silvercrest, and Gatos all got taken out at like 2.5.
That was before. Now the price tag will be higher. Right?
Yeah. So we get to 2.5 PNAV. That's a double from here. So that would be pretty good for our shareholders, but we'll see what happens with metal prices.
Okay, great. Thank you. Welcome back, David. Hope to
Thank you.
hear from you again for more
Definitely.
progresses.
Thank you.